Hey everybody, let's get it started. I'm doing it by the seat of my pants today, but it's still gonna work. Play the intro. Bam! Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, everybody, stop the music. Good morning. Welcome to my humble home and the Lucky Dog Studios, home of the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Marty, aka Dawg Knight. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you all here. A bunch of you popped in already. This is going to be one of those shows where I'm going to be making the show as I go. Although, there is one item that I absolutely need to talk about, and that is the bombshell. There's a new bombshell, and of course the journalist over at MSNBC absolutely have the scoop. And it happened. It's trending pretty good on Twitter today. So when I went to check out the Twitter thingies there, I was like, okay, that's what we're going to talk about first, because of course it's concerning Russia. Yes, our bombshell today. Let me see if I kept it open even. I hope I did. There's notifications there. Let's see what I got over here. Yes, you know what? Here's the easiest way to do this is to go onto the old Twitter Twitter, whatever it's called, Twitter page, and check it out. So here we go. Apparently, Lawrence O'Donnell at MSNBC has a scoop, and boy, are the people excited. Okay, everyone's talking about it. Oh my gosh, and all the other people are reporting it. Now anytime I see one of these bombshell scoop stories from MSNBC, now the people, the Trump haters, I'm somewhat a Trump neutralist, although I support a lot of the things he does. I am a conservative, even though people have some weird notion that I'm centrist or whatever. I don't care. I know that I'm a conservative, but I'm not. You know me. I'm a little lukewarm on Trump just because the style doesn't really fit me. But hey, he seems to be effective. No one wants to admit. Well, no one. It's hard to not admit. Never mind. Anyway, so everyone's excited about this Lawrence O'Donnell story. Here we go. Should I do the Daily Kos version of this story? I mean, it's hilarious. Lawrence O'Donnell from MSNBC. Not exactly the most objective person. Here. Here's Lawrence O'Donnell. Let's play this little clip right here. Let's get some sound on it. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put the sound on real quick. We'll do music in a minute. Let's listen to this.
This single source close to Deutsche Bank has told me.
Oh, that's really soft.
Donald Trump's loan documents there show.
Here, a single source. Let me see if I got a little better. I mean, everyone's these people are just Russian cosigners is trending on Twitter. In fact, here we go. This is a single source. A single source tells Lawrence O'Donnell, a single anonymous source picks out Lawrence O'Donnell to tell this story. Here we go.
And the source says that Deutsche Bank is in possession of loan documents that show Donald Trump has obtained loans with co-signers. and that he would not have been able to obtain those loans without co-signers. The source close to Deutsche Bank says that the co-signers of Donald Trump's Deutsche Bank loans are Russian billionaires close to Vladimir Putin.
Russian billionaires close to Vladimir Putin. Single source. Okay, well, and who knows? Maybe, just maybe, Lawrence O'Donnell actually has a scoop here. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but every single scoop is blown up in all their faces. And how the hell? So, this team, this investigative team from the, what were they from? They're from the special counsel's office. None of them found this in his finances because they went through his, I mean, they dug in his ass for these for his finances too. I'm just curious. So here we go. So apparently he has Russian co-signers on some Deutsche Bank loans apparently. So it's funny, the Wall Street already reported a plethora of major Wall Street banks handed over documents to New York State AG, and Congress linked the Russians? Really? When did they do that? Banks handed over documents on Russians possibly linked to Trump. It was funny because there were people who were saying something about and people are just drooling on this one. Clearly, as I scroll through the thing, the old Twitter thing, the trend on Twitter, Russian co-signers compromised. A successful businessman couldn't get a loan without a co-signer, so the Russian oligarchs co-signed for him. Interesting. Breaking. Russian oligarch Grigor Adalov tied to hedge fund powerhouses Axe Capital and Mason Capital. Trump likely watched evidence of billions being lended by Russian co-signers. I mean, it's weird. Trump is having a meltdown because Fox News. Okay, that's something else. And Moscow Mitch too. So everyone's talking about the Russian co-signers. Everyone's all excited. We'll see how this bombshell pans out because I think we've heard the word bombshell before, haven't we? What was that thing when everyone was all excited about the Mueller report? And then, remember when Rachel Maddow had a copy of Trump's taxes? I just, these people are so, they just jumped all, again, let me rephrase what my problem with this is. And if it's true, great. Let's see where it goes. But Lawrence O'Donnell has a single anonymous source at Deutsche Bank. Play the funk. We're gonna have it up so you can hear it today. How's that sound? Just a little bit louder than normal. Just a tiny bit. In fact, there we go. Now I'm hoping you can hear me over the music. I don't have it up that loud. I think I got it right. I'm practicing. All right. Let me say good morning to you, my peoples. Good morning to Sarah, who was first today. Yeah. Also, good morning, Diesel Dave, Sheograph, Tyler F, Pink Hollow, the Driving Ape Man, RVA, DI Freighter. I keep going DL Freighter. It's DI Freighter. I'm so glad that you're here. Oh, telemarketer called you this morning, so they woke you up, Dave. Okay, that's great. I'm sure you're happy with that. Marsupial Gamer, thank you also for the story you sent me. I'm going to talk about that one tomorrow. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, because only Marsupial Gamer and I know what we're talking about. Also, good morning to Max Del Rio, Mr. Dax, Jaeger Pony. Wow, the gang's all here. Rolling Bear. Wow. Good to see you all. Maniac Man. I am so happy that you are all here with me today on the Morning Night Live. And you know, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Also, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the people who watch the Morning Night Live. Please write down here. See, I even pointed the right way this time. Right down here. There's that share button. Hit the share button. Tweet it out. I also, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I also tweet this out pretty much every day. Some days I forget. My Twitter handle's down here at Dawg Knight. My email is pdogknight@gmail.com if you want to send me stories, or you can send me via direct message on Twitter. And also, if you want to do super chats during the show, we do super chats through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Also, Sarah has been so kind to put it in the chat periodically. And that's basically if you want to make sure that I read something aloud that you put out there and want to make sure to get the attention, or if you have questions you want to ask me, I'll answer just about anything if you throw me through a super chat through the Streamlabs link. So let's get into our day, which we kind of already did. Now, there's a couple stories. Oh, you know, there's this other tweet that's really been bugging the crap out of me. Okay, so now every time here, so this is one of those things we talk about what people decide to put in the news, right? And how those things affect what other people think about the world. So, for example, during around the time that the whole Black Lives Matter movement came about, there was always stories about black men being killed by police. Okay, and I you know, and I talk about this a lot. Police are the least of my worries as a black man. Okay, the chances of me getting shot by the police are pretty slim compared to all the other perils that we come about. And I talk about how, you know, for young men, especially particularly black men, ages, you know, what is it, 15 through 34, the number one cause of death is homicide or murder. And so, and about 0.14% of black deaths are by those other things. And so, but anytime, so, but the news made it seem like, oh my gosh, there's one of these every day, and we're just killing black men willy-nilly. The same goes for mass shootings, okay? You would think that mass shootings are an absolute epidemic. Now, they suck. They're terrible, but they're like man bites dog stories. Well, there's this trend on Twitter that anytime you see, and also here's the other thing about that. I don't mean to backtrack, but you know that the incarceration rate for black men is pretty high, right? So that means they caught all those people. Okay. In fact, about a week ago, the guy was shot 6 guys in Philly. Now they apprehended him without killing him, right? Or they killed the DC sniper. They picked him out without killing him. But everyone goes back to, well, Dylan Roof, how'd they catch him alive? If he were black, he'd be dead. And they even took him to Burger King for whatever. So they got the kids some food because they're required to get people food. So anyway, there's this epidemic that I see it all the time. Maybe you don't see it as much, but anytime there's some kind of incident where there are police and the perp is a white man, they'll show you this thing on Twitter and say, oh, I can't believe he was apprehended alive. Like, for example, the shooter in, was it Dayton? Dayton guy killed himself. Oh, the dude the guy in El Paso, right? People were mad because the guy was apprehended alive. Oh, he was apprehended alive because he was a white guy, right? Is that it? So on Twitter this day, and I see this all the time, you'll get this thing where you'll have an incident. So here's the tweet. White man kills 3, chases cop naked, then tries choking a reporter. The last words of the tweet are apprehended alive. As if they don't kill white, like cops never kill white people, right? Nope. If you have white privilege, it means you're going to get caught alive. So first of all, it's kind of funny watching this. I mean, I don't mean funny in a good way either. Here, I'm going to put this full screen for you. Here's the incident because it just looks crazy. It's a little blurry, but here it is. So the white guy is naked, chased the cop. Apparently he killed a couple. He was still chasing the cop, and apparently the cops trying to mace him and they're trying to catch him alive. That's the problem. Okay, then he's still running around, and then he goes over and starts going after the reporter. The cop hits him with a baton, still chased him with his gun. Now hold up. Now there is actually something humor about this, even though the incident itself is not humorous. So naked dude comes and El Paso guy's running. Naked dude is running down the street. Now I'm sorry, if I'm a naked dude and I see a police dog, I don't know if I want to be a naked guy around a police dog, because the police dog doesn't know what bits he's going to be biting. If you're not a guy, usually police dogs are trained to grab people's clothing and kind of gnaw at them a little bit. But this dude's naked anyway. And their point is, and he goes in the bushes. Now the dog goes and chases him. Then they go get him, and he ended up surrendering, I think, eventually, or they took him alive. Yep, they got a towel around him. They caught him, and he's caught alive. So this is something I see all the time on Twitter, though. So here's the thread: white man kills, then chases cop naked, then tries to choke reporter. Apprehended alive. Okay, so he was choking a groundskeeper, not a reporter. Doesn't really make a difference. He still managed to choke a guy out right in front of police after killing 3 people. Now, a woman and a child. And look at this fucking hot playing games. First of all, every police incident is different in different jurisdictions, in different municipalities, in different states, and they're all different. Every single police interaction with people that they are trying to apprehend are different. And so you can't make any inferences by one situation that you see and compare it to another situation and make anything, comparable. But everyone's going to bring up Dylan Roof. Let's go through this. I'm going to watch the thread here. Look, a cop isn't in fear for his life. Didn't think that was possible. Saying that, he should have been, that if he'd have been black, he'd have been shot. Oh, kill a 12-year-old with a toy in 2 seconds, but let some naked murderer chase you around and not vice versa. Well, first of all, we don't know when they found the other 2 people that were supposedly killed. Second of all, the cops didn't have a gun pointing at him. The dude was naked, not unarmed, nothing. Okay, I don't even know why the cop was... First of all, I don't know why the cop was running from him. Maybe he was afraid of cooties or something. But yeah, good point, Mighty McMahon. Detaining people alive is the norm. Shooting them is extremely rare. Sorry, hate to break that to you. We wouldn't have millions of people in prisons in the United States if shooting potential criminals was rare. Okay, they'd all be dead. Especially, we wouldn't have a black prison population based on what these people think. But they're referring to the kid in who's the kid? What's the kid's name that with the toy gun? The kid, the 5'7", 157-pound person that police shot because he had broken the orange cap off those airsoft guns that he was pointing at people, and the neighbors across the street call the police because someone was they thought it was a full-grown man. I mean, the kid's 5'7" and 175 pounds. He's a big kid. You don't know that, and he points the gun at a police car, and it doesn't have the orange cap on it. And, now it's a tragic happening. It's tragic, but you don't. It's every situation is different. If that cop looks up and sees someone pointing a gun at the car, you're probably gonna get shot. And it's not because he was black. It was not because, of course they're gonna shoot you. You point a gun at the cop, that is a threat. And you don't know the kid's 12 years old until you go until you get up close to the kid. But even if he is 12 years old, have you ever heard of a 12-year-old that's shooting a gun at somebody? I've heard of that. Anyway, why did black people face threats from cops? Why do black people face threats from cops or shot over largely nothing, but a guy can strangle 3 and be taken alive? Did they? Again, you don't know when they found the dead people. All you know is there's disturbances. This guy's running around naked. The cops trying to stop him with mace without shooting him, trying to apprehend him, in a certain way. He didn't obey. Doesn't that mean cops have to kill him? No. Funny, even when people of color obey, we get killed. Then they lie and say we didn't obey when it's on camera. It's almost as if this is America's racist shithole. They're acting like, and again, white male privilege is at its best right there. What does it take for an LEO to pull a trigger on a white man? This is my favorite one because I'm going to get into that in a second. Good thing this guy was merely a triple murderer and not selling loose cigarettes. Okay. We went through the Eric Garner thing last week. Oh my God. They did not intentionally kill Eric Garner. And the video evidence, if you actually look at it, proves they didn't. They don't know this man has severe asthma. They don't know that it's going to cause cardiac arrest. He wasn't choked to death, and that's as clear as day from the video. Although if you do take that one split-second snapshot of Eric Garner on the ground with the guy's arm around his neck, that split second in time, it makes for a terrible picture, doesn't it? But we also know that less than a second later, he released that and held his head down so that, whatever. He did a procedure. Anyway, so I was looking at this and I'm going, I see this, but okay, so I see this all the time. Anytime that you have, and you know what, Jesus, I could care less. Let me rephrase that. So I see this all the time on Twitter, and I see this every time. Well, it happened in the El Paso case. People were complaining because that guy surrendered without resisting, and they took him in, right? And so now, just not much later, there was another incident, right? Remember the incident? Now, people talk about that still, but notice the one incident they stopped talking about almost immediately was the incident in Philadelphia. Remember in Philadelphia? Now, that white guy in Philadelphia, he shot 6 police officers. But then they let him surrender. Can you believe they let him surrender and they didn't kill him? He shot cops. Wait, what? What? Oh, he was black? Are you sure? Oh, that dude in Philadelphia was black. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He shot 6 cops. Did they kill him? No, he surrendered without resisting, and he's alive, and is going to go to trial. get into this thing where let's get into hang on, let me get a hello. Welcome. Let me see. Somebody just subscribed. I forgot how to do this. Okay, here we go. If you are here in the chat, welcome to Miss Lilith Rain. I'm so happy that you're here on the Morning Night Live. Welcome. Also, by the way, good morning, Dammit Chadwick, aka Chadwick Dupree, and Functional, and Max. I don't know if you were here when I started. No, you were here. I already said hi. And Ranting Monkey. Oh my God. Good morning, Ranting Monkey. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this though. So they're always talking about how cops never kill white people, right? So I pulled up this website that I'm looking at, and I think police try to do their job, and I don't think police necessarily go, "Oh, you're a black man, I'm gonna shoot your ass, but I'm gonna let the white guy go." If two guys in a black are robbing a bank together, and they're having a shootout with police, and the black guy has a gun and the white guy has a gun, and they're shooting at the cops, do you perhaps think that the cops only shoot at the black guy shooting at them? I'm gonna guess that doesn't happen, right? I'm gonna guess that doesn't happen. So I'm looking. I went on my here's a site that I like because it's called Killed by Police, and here's the 2019 data. We're gonna pop right onto here. Let's go full screen on this one so you can see the whole thing. So this is the website called Killed by Police, and I've been following this site for quite a while, at least 5 years. I mean, this has been out there for a while, and it started back when during kind of the Black Lives Matter movement. So it's been around since 2013, but I think the site might have started in 2015, and then they've been filling in prior years. So what they do is they go out and look at all the articles on the web and the internet and kind of keep track of people who get killed by police. And you know what? A vast majority of people who get killed by police, in fact, almost all people, it's extremely rare that the police kill somebody out of procedure. Okay, meaning that it's either someone who was shooting at them, were about to hurt somebody else, there's all kinds of examples. It's very rare that just someone unarmed gets shot just randomly, like the Walter Scott case. Now that was a bad shooting. The guy's running away. It was not for a violent crime, and the cop shot him. That cop should go to jail. Okay, but then you get the Michael Brown cases where, yes, there were circumstances and that went to trial, the guy does not get convicted because there's evidence that, he followed the procedures and was protecting himself. But anyway, let's go on to Killed by Police. So now, generally, they pull up all the stories and they give you a link to the stories, and then they'll show you if they know the race of the person, they'll give you the age of the person, the gender, the race, the state it's from, and then the source with the article linked to it. Now, if you look through here, the most recent ones, they haven't necessarily identified the people yet, and that's because they usually aren't able to. They want to definitively identify the people. If they're going to identify a race, but then also because they get more information as the case goes along. So some of these more recent cases don't have it. So, but they do have, and sometimes they're unidentified person. They can't necessarily do that. So for example, here and they're only updated through July 2019. So Tymar Crawford was black, unidentified person. Kareem Omar Morgan, black, unidentified person, identified person. Here's Jose Martinez, Hispanic, and so on and so on. But look, oh my gosh, they killed a white guy. Oh my God, I thought white guys never. Here's Ben Fields. Let's read this story. Let's check this one out. Okay, Port Lucie police release new details about deadly officer-involved shooting. Hello, Toasted Network. Port St. Lucie police are releasing new details about a deadly officer-involved shooting that occurred Monday afternoon. The incident happened at 4:05 p.m. when officers responded to a domestic disturbance at a house located in the 3200 block of Southwest Constellation Road. According to the police report, 67-year-old Ben Fields called 911 saying he was armed with a knife and thinking about killing his wife. Police said officers arrived and found Fields inside the house with a knife. Officers repeatedly demanded him to disarm, but he refused. Police Chief John Bolduc said Fields advanced towards the officers and they were forced to fire one shot each, hitting Fields. Fields was transported to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The officers were not hurt. Okay, so, all right, so he came at them with a knife. They shot him. Okay, probably a typical type shooting. Okay, let's look here. Oh, another one. Unidentified person, but he was white. Star Telegram. Where is this from? Denton County deputies fatally shot man who raised gun in their direction, sheriff said. Okay. 2 Denton County deputies shot to death a 61-year-old man who raised a gun in their direction Saturday morning, authorities said. The man was known to the residents, but did not live there, the sheriff's office said. The shooting death occurred in the 600 block, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. The suspect raised a gun. 2 deputies shot and killed him, the sheriff's office said. The medical examiner did not release the man's name Saturday night. Lived in fate, the sheriff's office said. Okay, so there's another one. I didn't think they did this. Let's see. Let's do this. This is in Oklahoma. William Aubrey Martin. Let's see this story. Let's see here. Man shot and killed after chase ends in Midtown Tulsa. Wow, after just a car chase, I didn't think they did this I didn't think they did this. I mean, seriously. Oh, here, actually, let me turn the music off for this one, because, well, here, let's just turn this up. Here we go. Let's listen to this story.
End to a chase through a Midtown neighborhood. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol is investigating what led up to shots being fired. Fox 23's Naomi Kidd is live at OHP headquarters talking with neighbors who heard those shots.
Ron, neighbors tell us that they just couldn't believe it when they heard those shots ring out Thursday afternoon. Troopers here are investigating this chase and that shooting. Fox 23 was there on this scene near 2nd and Fulton when all of this started. Officers tell us William Aubrey Martin led them on a chase. The Highway Patrol...
So they shot him because he drove too fast? Huh. Let's see.
Says it started when the U.S. Marshals Task Force was trying to arrest that man. Then things quickly escalated.
Oh, they were trying to arrest him.
Officials tell us Martin crashed his black pickup truck during the chase, then tried to run over responding officers. That's when he was shot.
Okay, so he tried to run over the cops with this car, so they shot him.
It's a fairly quiet neighborhood.
Okay, so there's another one. I didn't think they did this to white people. Didn't they check? Didn't they check his what's it called? His tabs, his driver's registration, and see that he was white and know not to shoot at him? I just don't get it. How could this happen? Let's see. Matthew Christian Smith, 33, male, in Nebraska. KETV. That's in Omaha. That's where I grew up. Let's see. Now this guy, Bellevue. Whoa, lots of mess popping up here. Let's get the hell off my screen. What the hell is going on? I do not wish to subscribe right now. No, I do not. Bellevue police identify man killed. Officer involved in Thursday's shooting. Okay. Bellevue police said Matthew Smith, 33, is dead after an officer-involved shooting late Thursday night. They said Officer Cody Albrecht is now on paid administrative leave pending investigations. Are there protests in the street for this one? I bet there's not. He has been on the force since February 2016. Officers arrived at a home near 29th and Sandra Street. I know exactly where that is. Holy moly. For a domestic violence investigation around 11:30 p.m. Thursday. Police said a woman called 911 reporting her significant other was intoxicated, armed with a firearm, and suicidal. Neighbor Tammy King said her dogs woke her up and she saw flashing lights, more than a dozen police cars on the street, saw 2 police officers go that way, and then boom, 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 boom. She said. Let's see. Okay, so it doesn't really say the details of what happened, but When police officers arrived at the scene, they heard shots fired from the direction of the home. One officer was able to safely remove the woman from the house. Moments later, police said Officer Albrecht fired his gun, striking Smith. So, yeah, so again, there were shots from the house. Heard a bunch of screaming and yelling, put the gun down, and he's yelling, just shoot me, okay, this was death by cop, but you know what? They better check the license or the home and find out if this guy's a black or not, because they can't be shooting white people, right? Because it never happens. Sean Blowers, Fox, no, this is in Wisconsin. Not too far from where I am. Police, knife-wielding individual shot, killed by Nina officers in Menasha. One person was killed in an officer-involved shooting in Menasha. Incident happened on the 900 block of Taco Street in Menasha, not far from the city's border with Fox Crossing. Police said the person was shot by new police officers. Okay, they did try to save his life. So, all right, he's dead. Okay, but anyway, as you go through this list, and statistically, numerically, I should say, there are more white people killed by cops than blacks. But you never really hear about any of those stories. And in fact, I wonder if there's a thing unarmed, because even that, I can't remember where those statistics are from. Here, let's see if there's anything unarmed shot by cops. Unarmed shot by police. Let's see here. The police shootings database. So here's the Washington Post. I'm not able to get through this. 986 people were shot by police in 2017. Oh, they have the data too. Well, let's look at this. Mental illness played a role in a quarter of the incidents. Interesting. Oh, and what they do is they actually allow you to click on each tab for information. So let's see if we can find let's try this. Matthew Ryle. Let's see. Oh, it didn't click for more. I wanted to click for more information. It doesn't do it. Here, let's see. 2019, 595 people have been killed by police. Let's see. So by race, 194 white, 133 black, 113 Hispanic, other 25, unknown 130. By gender, male 564 to 30. Holy smokes. States, I don't care about that. Age, a vast majority are between 18 and 44. Although there's quite a few 45 and up is the next third largest category. Under 18, 8. Holy smokes. Let's see. And then weapon. If they had a weapon, unarmed. 32 were unarmed. I wonder if let's see here. Unarmed, 32. Match your filter. Let's go unarmed and race. So of the 32, there's 13 people shot and killed by police so far this year that are white and unarmed. I wonder if you can. It's not letting me click for. It says click for more information. It's not really working to do that though. Unless it's down here. Oh, here we go. It does tell you right here. Let's see. Margarita Victoria Brown, Texas. Okay, here it is. Margarita Victoria Brooks, an unarmed 30-year-old white woman, was shot on August 1st, 2019 in Arlington, Texas. Let's look at this one. Open tab. Arlington officer opens fire on loose dog, kills nearby. Oh, that's the one where they shot. This officer tried to shoot the dog and he killed the woman. Oh, that's just, that was terrible. That was terrible. Everyone's heard that story. Here, let's go back again. Let's go to the next one. Now this is interesting too, because when they filter these, so Joshua Ortiz is listed by race as white. They don't list him as Hispanic. That's interesting. Let's see about Joshua Ortiz. Unarmed 21-year-old white man was shot on July 5th, 2019 on a street in Oakland, California. Here's the story from ABC Los Angeles. It's Ojai, not Oakland. I'm sorry. A suspect was shot and killed by the California Highway Patrol in Oakview Friday morning, authorities said. The shooting happened about 6 a.m. near Highway 33 and Portal Street. Ventura County Sheriff's investigators received a report of a man walking in and out of traffic on Highway 33 posing a hazard. An officer who responded was charged by the man after talking to him, CHP said. At some point during that time, an altercation occurred, a physical assault. The person that had a person that he contacted assaulted the officer, Captain Eric Hatley with the Ventura County Sheriff's Office said. The officer did fire shots. The suspect was hit and he died at the scene. So this man attacked the officer, but he was an unarmed man. Now, has anyone heard of this story? Is there a march? I probably not. And I'm not saying that people should not be upset when unarmed people are killed by police officers, but you only hear about certain ones. Let's see this one. Unarmed Luke Patterson, unarmed 41-year-old white man, shot on May 23rd, 2019 in a vehicle in Montgomery, New York. Let's see what happened in this one. All right, so we got New York State Police shoot kill a man who tries to climb into a trooper's car on Interstate 84. See, he pulled a Michael Brown on this morning.
County in New York, state police involved shooting on Interstate 84.
Yeah, it happened on westbound Interstate 84 between
let's turn this
747 and 208, those exits. And right now, that portion of the interstate is shut down. News Force Ken Bufa just spoke with police about this. Ken, what are they telling you?
Well, they tell me that these troopers found this driver and they tried to talk to him, but that man would not comply. So much so, he actually tried to enter one of the cruisers, and that's when one of these troopers opened fire. Now, I want to tell you what happened. Take a good look at this map so you understand where it was going on. State police say around 2 this morning, they got a call of a disabled car on I-84 in Montgomery near exit 5A. 2 troopers responded to this and found the driver about a half a mile away near exit 5. One trooper got out of the car and tried talking to the 41-year-old man, but police say he was uncooperative. Authorities say he then tried to enter the cruiser with the other trooper sitting inside. That's when the trooper outside of the car fired multiple shots, killing that man. Now, the highway was closed off through rush hour, 1 lane westbound.
So, but this is an unarmed man getting killed by cops. Have you heard about this one yet? I'm pretty sure that it's going to be all over the national news. And now, that's just it. Sometimes when the news presents things, the things they don't tell you are probably just as significant as the things they tell you. But the things they tell you often are just chosen because it's the squeaky wheel getting the grease. People yelling about it, people screaming about it, thinking, oh, this happens only to certain types of people. When it's not true. It's just not true. It happens to more than that. Ethan Austin Murray, unarmed 25-year-old Ethan Austin Murray, Ethan Austin Murray, an unarmed 25-year-old white man, I thought it was a white woman, was shot on May 4th, 2019. This is in the state in Washington. Breaking. Identity of man killed by deputy on Saturday shooting in Spokane Valley is released. 25-year-old Ethan Austin Murray died from multiple gunshot wounds after a deputy fired at him during a call on Saturday evening. Spokane County Medical Examiner released the information on Monday. The officer-involved shooting happened on May 4th after Spokane County Sheriff's Office responded to calls of an individual running around without a shirt and acting strange near a group of children playing nearby an apartment complex on the 2800 block of North Cherry. Authorities say there is reason to believe Murray was high on drugs or intoxicated. Deputies arrived on the scene around 5:35 p.m. and attempted to make contact with Murray. Deputies say Murray tried to run away from authorities to a grassy area toward a known homeless camp. Deputies over the radio said Murray was not being compliant with authorities. Spokane County Sheriff's Office Ozzy Knezovich told KHQ that shortly after this, shots were fired. The deputies were on the scene at the time of the shooting. Only one deputy fired a weapon. authorities say it's unknown if the person killed lived in the area. So, and then the officers on administrative leave, like they always are, right? That's because, someone I noticed in chat how that would be a huge burden, just knowing that you killed someone. Yeah, it is, man. I mean, I don't think any cop wants to go out and kill anybody, and it's really hard to do. So, or really hard to bear. It's amazing. So anyway, this Washington Post database is actually really good. David Wayne West, unarmed 52-year-old white man, was shot on May 2nd, 2019 in Glenwood, Georgia. Wow, Georgia. I didn't think I never would have thought white people would get killed in Georgia by police, but now this is one too. Didn't have to kill him. Family of man killed by Wheeler County officer grieving his death. One person is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Wheeler County Thursday afternoon. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says the shooting happened around 1:15 p.m. when Wheeler County deputies and the Oconee Drug Task Force tried to serve a bench warrant on 52-year-old David Wayne West at a home on the 100 block of Dry Branch Road in Glenwood. The GBI says West's warrant was for charges related to aggravated assault, domestic violence, and methamphetamine. When the officers got to West's home, they saw him outside. That's when West tried to escape on a four-wheeler, prompting deputies to chase after him, the GBI says. West drove into the woods and then got into a fight with Officer Jeff Deal, who fatally shot him, according to the GBI. West was pronounced dead at the scene, while Deal sustained minor injuries. West's ex-wife, Diane, told WGXA he knew he was supposed to appear in court but didn't show up anyway. They said the sheriff was going to make David serve time for it, she says. West's family says he didn't deserve to die. He also left behind one child. Now, clearly that's typical when, your family's generally, in most cases, going to back you up somehow. They said they could have stopped him some other way. They didn't have to kill him, says Diane. Now I got to figure out how to tell my son about it. Okay, and that's sad for her and sad for her son. And again, in those cases where if you're taking a huge chance anytime you resist arrest or try to, you take one swing at the cops, and an officer has to immediately think about their safety. Okay, because a person who's willing to take a swing at you, you don't know if they're ready to kill you or not. Okay, and that's in the case of Eric Garner. Eric Garner swatted those cops' hands away when they said, "We're going to arrest you," and so they took him down to the ground so they could arrest him. That set off a tragic series of events within that short part of time, and unfortunately, Eric Garner's dead. And did Eric Garner deserve to die because he was, even if he was selling Lucy's, did he deserve to die for it? No. But should he have been arrested for it? Well, according to the governor of New York, who was cracking down on cigarettes at the time, on illegal cigarette sales, and the mayor of New York, who also was taking part in that program, he deserved to be arrested. Did he deserve to die? No. But again, almost there. I mean, there are some cases where it wasn't about resisting arrest, but that's pretty extremely rare. Okay, so it just is. I mean, there's shitty things that happen to people all over the place, but you only seem to hear about them when they happen to certain people. Okay, and that's why it's there. To say there's an epidemic or that it exclusively happens to one type of person, that's bullshit. It happens to all kinds. Now, also, unfortunately, based on the number of contacts people have, you're probably going to see it more. If there's an area where there's higher crime, there's more contacts with police. It's a demographic thing, okay? But is it exclusive to any particular race? And now, it's certainly higher for males. Okay, so the question would have to be, well, a vast majority of people killed by police are men. The vast majority of the people in prison are men. Are the police discriminating against men? No. Men commit more crimes. Men take more chances. Men do more violent things. Okay. Now, are there women who do violent things? Yes, there are. Obviously, out of these 13 people shot and killed by police, now the cop was shooting at a dog and killed a woman. That cop should be in jail. I think it's time for that cop to be in jail. I think that cop's going to get charged. Oh, hi, I didn't even check your logic. I didn't notice you're here. How you doing? So, it's just kind of, it's sad, but it's a fact that these things happen. It happens to all types of people. So whenever I see this stupid, it's almost a meme now. Oh, well, this white guy was running around naked and the cops still took him alive. Well, clearly he wasn't carrying any weapons. Oh, dude's buck naked. They didn't notice that the blurry part wasn't really all that big. They blurred out. I'm just kidding. That's just wrong. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Thank you, Tyler F. and Marsupio Gamer, for tweeting out the show today. I appreciate that. Again, share the share arrows down there if you want to do that, or you can just go, if you follow me on Twitter, I would appreciate the retweets. Also, again, if you haven't done so, hit the like button. Also, super chats through the Streamlabs link down below. Small caliber weapon. Nice, Marsupio Gamer. That's hilarious. All right. I didn't pull up a ton of stories today. I did get one here. Thank you, Pinkalo. This is an interesting one, I thought, that I'll do today. We were talking about the Amazon fires yesterday and how these aren't global warming fires. These are people intentionally setting fires in the Amazon, trying to clear ground, and actually the actual rainforest, the deforestation is actually still at a much lower point than it was 20 years ago. They've been working to reforest the rainforest. Now, granted, it's still not a good idea maybe to burn up all that rainforest. But anyway, but here's one that I found interesting. The Amazon fires are yet another sign that big agriculture is out of control in Brazil. Yeah, this is an agriculture problem. So this starts out talking about the U.S., but here's the thing. The wildfire nomenclature. Okay, hang on. I'll start at the beginning. 3 months ago, a U.S. federal district court judge ordered the directors of Pacific Gas and Electric Company to visit Paradise, California. Well, visit's the wrong word, isn't it? There would be no summertime fun in laying eyes upon the wildfire devastation that razed the once sylvan community, claiming the lives of nearly 90 of its citizens. That would be the judge's point, to erase the mind gap between the director's bottom line understanding of the sparking threat of untended transmission wires and the ash-choked reality of the wasteland that remains. The judge's tactic is rather like grabbing a puppy by the scruff of its neck and sticking its nose in it. I cite California, where once again the wildfires have seasonally returned as the Amazon burns, and Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro says, as he did Tuesday, thanks for the offer of a $22 million handout in emergency funds to fight the wildfires in the rainforest, but, mind your own colonial business. That's a fascinating way to do it. And then he considered taking the money if only the president of France would apologize for remarks that bear no relevance to the crisis. The wildfire nomenclature doesn't fit. Instead, it serves to broaden the gap between business in this current emergency and the group of seven's best intentions. The proposed tactical response from some observers I'm thinking here specifically of the opinion expressed in the Globe and Mail this week by Lloyd Axworthy and Alan Rock that multilateral green helmets be sent across the Brazilian border to extinguish the fires ignores what should be our first concern, that the agriculture sector in Brazil is out of control and investors need to play their part in pushing for change. So I think I haven't even read this article, but I see where they're going here because, again, those fires aren't natural occurrences. It's not like lightning suddenly struck the rainforest and all of a sudden it's burning out of control because it's so dry because global warming is turning the rainforest into a desert. That's not what's happening. These fires have been set intentionally. Make no mistake, Bolsonaro intends to continue marching Brazil along a path of becoming an agribusiness superpower. JBS SA, headquartered in Sao Paulo, is already the world's largest meat processor by revenues. Sales last year surpassed 50 billion, that's billion with a B. Let's put that in context. Maple Leaf Foods Inc. recorded 2018 revenues of 3.5 billion, that's Canadian. It's less likely that readers know the name Blair Maggi, who runs the world's largest private soybean producer, the Amaggi Group. Maggi was agriculture minister under Bolsonaro's predecessor, Michael Temer, and central to advancing the interests of the agribusiness lobby. Brazil is the world's largest exporter of soybeans. Now, let me just break something to you here. Granted, the Brazilian rainforest, okay, so there's all this land, people try to say it's the oxygen, the second lung or whatever of the planet, which is really not. Really, most of the oxygen on the planet is produced in the oceans through plankton and ocean vegetation, so to speak. But anyway, crops also produce oxygen. And the other thing about that is, yes, the rainforests produce oxygen, but the rainforests also use oxygen. I mean, it's not just the carbon that they use. I mean, it's kind of a cycling thing. I mean, it's not like it's, if all these trees are gone, well, the oxygen they use is going to be gone, and then it's going to affect the whole world. Although, here's the thing, you don't want the rainforest to go away. There's too much native wildlife and stuff that you don't want to go to extinct, but the whole oxygen global warming thing probably, if you replace all that with other vegetation, that vegetation has to use carbon and create oxygen also. So that, I don't know if that's the problem. But anyway, let me continue this article because I sound like I'm talking straight out of my hind parts. The intersection of soy and animal protein is key to the unfolding drama. I've written previously about the Cerrado Manifesto, highlighting the diminished Brazilian savanna lost to the agriculture expansion of beef production fed by soy meal. I've interviewed Adam Kanzer, head of the Stewardship of Americas for BNP Paribas, on the loss of as much as 50% of the savanna to agricultural expansion. The manifesto's authors estimate that a loss of a third of the remaining land would equal the loss of more than 8 billion tons of carbon sequestration. The goal, halting the deforestation and adopting sustainable land management practices. So, again, when we talk about these fires in Brazil, it's because Brazil is suddenly becoming this huge agricultural powerhouse, and they're burning up rainforest to create more land for agriculture. Now, and that's the problem. So somehow there's going to have to be some sort of land management, provision there. And I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea. I don't know Brazilian politics, so I don't really know. I know they call Bolsonaro the Brazilian Trump or whatever. But I gotta think somehow that they've realized that they have this land usage issue, and so they're gonna have to figure it out. But who's gonna tell them what to do? Are they gonna? Is the whole world gonna come down and tell them what to do with their land? That's a tough one there. I don't know about that. Let's see. But anyway, the point here is the Amazon fire tally reported by Brazil's National Institute for Space Research records a doubling of fires from last year. Science magazine this week encapsulated how that has come to pass. Chainsaws lead the way, followed by flames, then cattle and other forms of development. So this is, again, the fires in Brazil are agricultural development. And so anyone who's sitting there yelling about, oh, this is all about climate change. No, it's not about climate change. It's about, it's about the agribusiness in Brazil clearing for more land. And as they do that, they cut in to the rainforest. So not a good thing. Somebody's got to figure that out down there and realize how, I guess they got to decide, are the rainforests important? And how important are they? But the agribusiness needs to figure out too, is this a, I hate the word sustainable, but is this a sustainable practice? So, let's see here. What else I got? Now I've you may not have heard of that. This one's fascinating. Just an interesting article about Elizabeth Warren. Apparently, Elizabeth Warren advised women don't have children. Huh. Interesting. Elizabeth Warren offers some blunt advice to women in a financial self-help book she wrote with her daughter in 2003. Don't have children, and if you divorce, remarry as soon as possible. Wow. Huh. I see a couple new names, I thought. I just saw, what was that? Who was that I hadn't seen here before? Hold on. We'll get back to this article in a minute. I did say, good morning, check your logic, by the way. I saw you pop in. I didn't see you get here. John Connor, hello. Welcome to the show. I didn't recognize that name either. There was a couple others. But anyway, if you're new, make sure you hit subscribe. Hit the like button not the like button, subscribe down there. Where the hell? Down there. Subscribe and hit the bell, and then you'll know when we do this. I'm actually, like I said, I'm trying to make more videos, but at least you'll know when we're streaming. And good morning, Blind Press, too. All right, anyway. All right, let's get back to this story. Elizabeth Warren offered some blunt advice to women in a financial self-help book she wrote with her daughter in 2003. Don't have children, and if you divorce, remarry as soon as possible. Interesting advice. The senator from Massachusetts and Democratic 2020 presidential candidate, why'd they put her age here? 70, and the Amelia Warren Tiagi, 47, they put both their ages, shared their recommendations in The Two-Income Trap, Why Middle-Class Parents Are Still Going Broke. What? Yeah. Okay. Are all middle-class people going broke, though? Are we? Me and Lady Boomer are doing pretty good. We're middle. Oh, whatever. And we have 2 kids. Granted, okay, I understand now. Oh man, but our kids are grown. Now they're out. We can keep all that money that we've been spending on them now. Anyway, and I love my kids. My kids are fan-freaking-tastic. They're awesome. The idea of never having our kids would never cross my mind because they're absolutely awesome. Anyway, in his pages, the pair teamed up to lay out their case for how double-income couples start a bidding war in the middle class that raised the cost of living, so that working families had to commit both their salaries to, for example, paying off a mortgage on a house in a good school district rather than saving for a rainy day. Okay, yeah. Okay. The book, based on the White House hopeful's extensive bankruptcy research and her businesswoman daughter's management consulting experience, cited data that indicated having a child is the single best predictor that a woman will end up in financial collapse, with a divorced mother being almost 3 times more likely to file for bankruptcy than her single friend who never had children. Okay. So is that an argument for not having children? Or is that an argument for maybe... Well, it's hard to say. Divorced people that made better choices. Maybe just... maybe learning how to build relationships before you're married, or, you know, figuring out how to live with people. What the hell? How would she even write this book if she didn't have a child? Did somebody already say that? Yeah, if you didn't have a kid, you have no grandchildren to spoil as a payback. That's true too. But hey, how the hell did she write this book without having a kid? Some women, and again, okay, so maybe choose your partners well and don't get divorced is probably a good idea too. Some women have found another way to avoid the two-income trap. It doesn't involve loading up on insurance policies or conducting financial fire drill, nor does it require you to keep a spouse at home full time. And unlike the other solutions we have presented, it's cost-free and highly effective. Their solution? Don't have children, she wrote. Oh my God. While acknowledging that childlessness may not be a calculated decision, they touted its lifelong benefits. Okay, hold up here. Lifelong benefits. Now, I'm trying to think. So, is this strictly about money? Is your only happiness having to do with money? Touted its lifelong benefits, including how it ratchets up the likelihood of a comfortable retirement. Fascinating that because she kind of pushes the whole socialist thing and free money and this and that for everybody. But then but it seems like she's saying that you could only be happy in retirement if you have a lot of money. Now, I know that I think of my mother, I think of my wife's parents, you know, and my father-in-law who just passed away, and just thinking about, now, what would his life have been like? Because he and Lady Boomer's mom were divorced a long time ago, and in his later life, when he came back came into our lives and became a big part of our lives, I can't imagine what his life would have been had he not had Lady Boomer and her brother, and the grandchildren that his grandchildren, my kids and my brother-in-law's family. That's also a part of a lifelong benefit of having children. The joy that your kids and grandkids bring in your life. Wow. I'm going to read it further. A few generations ago, advising women not to have children would have seemed ridiculous, they wrote, alluding to the suggestion's defiance of social norms and the argument children are economic assets. I don't think of my kids as economic assets. Holy shit. Granted, at one time they were. People had kids because they helped on the farm, and then they grew up, and people lived in more, larger family units or stayed close together, often helped each other out. Not always that way anymore, but I don't think it was a bad model. And also people had a lot of kids because you never knew how many of your kids were going to die at a young age or die at birth or whatever. So people, that's why people had larger families. But I've never thought of my kids as economic assets. Here she says, children are still economic assets. Today's children will build the economy of tomorrow. Well, yeah, stop having kids and there's no one going to be able to pay into that Social Security that the great American Ponzi scheme has put together for you in your retirement. Today's children will build the economy of tomorrow, defend the nation in future wars, care for the sick, construct new buildings, repair the roads, and support the next generation of elderly through Social Security, also known as the Great American Ponzi Scheme. But there's a key difference. These benefits will go to society at large, not to specific parents. Well, it depends on how your family structure is, or how your family, this is fascinating. Now, this again, she wrote this in 2003, and who knows? Warren, at the time, a Harvard Law School professor, the only minority professor at Harvard, by the way, and years away from seeking elected office, and Warren Tyagi also dedicated a chapter to divorced mothers. They asserted that despite receiving better educations, better job training, better legal support, and better paychecks, the demographic was less financially secure than it was 25 years prior, because it's become more difficult to compete in a two-income world? Okay, some women take the alternative path to survive the economic blows raining down on their families. They remarry, they wrote. Sure, we know that marriage, even a second marriage, is supposed to be about chemistry and companionship, but getting a foreclosure notice can make anyone think what she really needs from a relationship. Even now, a generation after the women's revolution, the surest way for a woman to regain her financial footing after a divorce is to find a husband, and do it quickly. In a world of economic hurt, even a guy with half a job looks good. They continued. Holy shit. Oh, I didn't. Okay, Warren herself is divorced. Woo, I'm sure. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put things. That's an unfortunate. I don't know if that's realistic or it's just extremely cynical. You know. I suppose I'm fortunate. Now, my wife and I have gone through a lot of stuff, and we had tough times, man, and not just financially, but just emotionally, personally. But we've gotten through them, and holy shit, are we so much stronger that we've gotten through those things instead of just we could have divorced and just made everything easy, right? But no, that's. You get through life and you figure out things and you compromise and you work and you make things better and become stronger with that work. And our kids were just a great enhancement to our lives. Our life, man. I've spent 15 some years chasing around a kid with a basketball and a girl doing all kinds of shit. My daughter, the Renaissance kid, was played sports. She was in theater. She was in music. She did all kinds of things, and just the joy of seeing them grow and become mature adults, and now we're sending them off, very happy, healthy human beings, and it's just and it's an amazing thing, and I can't wait till they, if they decide to have kids, that I can't wait to see those kids. It's just weird. How the hell did you write this book without having a daughter, by the way? You had kids. Oh yeah, she's divorced. Oh, but she's remarried, so maybe, I don't know. Holy shit. I don't even know how to think that. Anyway, all right, let's move on, because it is that time where we go into Twitter trends and let's see what else is happening in the world besides the bombshell. The bombshell. Oh, Russian co-signers is trending number 2 already. But when we look at Twitter trends, almost any given day of the week, some of the top trends are going to be just about the day of the week. And today's top Twitter trend right now at this moment is Wednesday Wisdom. So let's get into the Twitter trends today real quick. We'll pop through these and then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to do this quick today because I kind of rambled on a little while there. All right, so Wednesday Wisdom is number 1. Let's get at least one good Wednesday Wisdom. Now, the top one here, this at the top of the list, Henrietta H. 4, UNICEF chief. Okay, so this is someone who has something to do with UNICEF. I will enunciate that. Hi, Pirate Pete. All right. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, gender identity. Speak for yourself. Your gender identity. You know, I'm fascinated by the term gender identity. I want to talk to some people. Say no, gender identity has become far more important than sex anymore. You know, because I always get a kick out of someone talking about how you were assigned your gender at birth. No. The doctor determined what sexual organs you have, and they tell you what the sex of your baby is. They don't tell you the gender of your baby, because the gender is just kind of something that's, at least now, the definition is it's related to sex in some ways, but gender is supposed to be something completely different. So, but the doctors don't tell you your gender. Okay, gender, if you think about it, when the first people who first started using the term gender, we're talking about how you gender, you give a gender to inanimate objects, okay? Saying that they have the characteristics of either males or females. Girls and boys was a sex determination until the term gender started taking over. And apparently now that's taken over, that seems to be way more important than your physiology. Your physiology is your sex, and your head, whatever you think you are, is apparently gender now. But I want to talk to people about that. And it's not that I don't understand it, but I have questions. There's questions I want to ask people who are really, who think gender is important. All right. No gender is the sex of the baby. Those people just want to feel special. Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree with that 100%, Chadwick. And in fact, that's part of the question I have. When someone says their gender is different than their physiology, then I want to go, okay, well, what exactly makes you that gender? What is it that makes you that gender that's different than your physiology? Because a lot of people like to say that gender is a social construct, right? Well, it's a social construct in so much as, at least it was a social construct, in so much as it related to how different people of different sex behaved in society, okay, or expected behavior in society. And so, yeah, if it's an expectation of behavior in society, sure, that's kind of a social construct, right? Because in different societies, they behave differently. But there's common behaviors based on sex too, if you think about it. And it's not just in humans; it's throughout the animal kingdom. For example, there's a video of a silverback gorilla. There was a family of gorillas crossing the road, and the giant silverback male stops in the middle of the road, kind of as the protector of all the people of the other gorillas across the road, and it clearly had what we would call it a gender role, because that big male silverback gorilla was there protecting the rest of the gorillas crossing the road. And then once all the gorillas cross the road and the silverback's looking around making sure nothing comes and hurts that family of gorillas across the road, then the silverback gorilla, slowly goes back, finishes the trip behind them. Now but no one wrote any gender rules for that silverback gorilla to be the protector. The silverback protected the rest of the family of gorillas because the silverback was the biggest, strongest gorilla in the group, and it just happened, and it was a male, and that's the male role. But who wrote those roles? It's not like, is that a social construct? No, that's just nature. And there's lots of things like that humans have, those similar things, because of testosterone, because of the natural general on average strength difference between men and women. So then I go, well, okay, so are those things that are naturally different, are those technically gender roles? Well, no, they're natural phenomena. Okay, so now if you think you are not that gender, I want to talk about that. I want to go, well, okay, so what makes you the different gender than your physiology? And I'm just, and I don't want to. It's not that I'm questioning people. I'm not saying, okay, you're not what you think you are, but I want to know why you think you are and what is it that makes you that thing. So anyway, I'm babbling. Anyway, that was and there's Wednesday wisdom that I never thought I'd be talking about today. So I'm going to skip that. We've already had number 2, Russian cosigners. This will be fascinating. Now some of the conservatives are now tweeting about it too. Let's see some of the latest here. Let's see if anyone. There's lots of people still showing him puppets, whatever. Would Deutsche Bank cover this up? You bet they would. In fact, this whistleblower is fired, and anyone who's followed Trump's dealing with Deutsche Bank knows they not only have given Trump bizarre special treatment as a customer, but especially... Okay, well, Seth Abrams is... Okay, whatever. Some people are saying irrelevant trash. MSNBC Lawrence O'Donnell says he has a source who told him Russian oligarchs signed off loans given to Donald Trump by Deutsche Bank. Yeah, Lawrence O'Donnell is the only person reporting this, although now every outlet is parroting that same story. Anyway, we already talked about that. Let's move on. Moving on, General Mattis is former Defense Secretary James Mattis is trending. I did as well as I could for as long as I could under Trump. That's the Hill story. Former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis writes, "We all know we're better than our current politics." Yeah, we are. Wise leadership requires collaboration. Otherwise, it will lead to failure. The oft-spoken admonition of the Marines is this: when you're going to a gunfight, bring all your friends with guns. Having fought many times in coalitions, I believe that we need every ally we can bring to the fight, from imaginative military solutions to their country's vote in the UN. The more allies, the better. I have never been on a crowded battlefield, and there is always room for those who want to be there alongside us. A wise leader must deal with reality and state what he intends and what level of commitment he is willing to invest in achieving that end. He then has to trust that his subordinates know how to carry that out. Wise leadership requires collaboration, otherwise it will lead to failure. So I think Mattis is being critical of Trump, and one of my criticisms of Trump too is his kind of strange way he just blurts out everything he's thinking and not always thought through, and then he has to think it through later and change his mind. But again, people are still talking about Russia. So anyway, Mattis is trending because of that. I think it's related to the Deutsche Bank thing in some way, because they just love to talk about Trump. Parliament is trending because Boris Johnson wants the Prime Minister to suspend Parliament weeks ahead of the Brexit deadline. I was listening to Bear this morning, and he was saying that part of that is just because they do a summer recess, just like they do in Congress. But it's interesting. So it seems Boris Johnson may actually be about to shut down Parliament to force through a no Brexit deal. Unless MPs come together to stop him next week, today will go down in history as a dark one indeed for UK democracy. Yeah, fascinating. We'll have to watch those trends. That'll be trending quite a bit today. Moving on, Wednesday motivation. We're done with that. Let's go. Wednesday wisdom, Wednesday motivation. We don't need that. Wednesday thoughts. As opposed to thoughts. Nah. Super M. What the hell is Super M? Is that something having to do with gaming? They're selling individual shirts too? Okay, I don't know what Super M is. If you know what Super M is, put it in the chats. Looks like something that... is this a K-pop thing? God dang K-pop. Get off my screen. All right, FEMA is trending. Because Tropical Storm Dorian is picking up strength and going towards Puerto Rico. Donald Trump tweets, "We are tracking closely Tropical storm Dorian as it heads as usual. Why as usual? Don't say as usual. To Puerto Rico. FEMA and others are ready and will do a great job. When they do, let them know it and give them a big thank you. Not like last time. That includes... Now this is one of those things, man. This is unnecessary, sir. Sir, I know you're watching the show. This is unnecessary. That includes the incompetent mayor of San Juan. This mayor of San Juan's chirping at Trump again, blaming him for 3,000 deaths because of a hurricane. You know what? The people in San Juan or in Puerto Rico, when you couldn't get the trucking unions to take stuff places, that's not on the rest of us who are trying to help. Holy crap. Anyway, Trump governs like an unaccountable authoritarian leader of a banana republic. Shift appropriated funds from FEMA, aggressively seize private land and disregard environmental rules. Promise to pardon anyone who gets prosecuted. Holy shit. No. Oh my gosh, that taking funds from FEMA is just false. I'm gonna have to look that up though, because I gotta show you what they're talking about and I don't have time. Anyway, so they're just saying that Trump is stealing money from the US military and FEMA to try to build his wall. He hates brown people that much. Kiss my brownish ass. Oh, but you know what? Bashing the mayor of San Juan is just I'm gonna agree with Anna Navarro. I'm going to actually agree with Anna Navarro somewhat. She's an idiot. What kind of president, what kind of human bashes mayor of an American city bracing for a big storm? A disgusting, loathsome one who's raiding FEMA. No, he's not. In midst of hurricane season, so as to build his useless wall. No. He isn't taking it from FEMA. Oh, you lying people. All right, moving on. Vieques, that's probably something to do with... Yep, Dorian. We'll skip that. Breitbart. Why is Breitbart trending? Oh, yeah. Breitbart got kicked out of a... What they kicked out of? So, Beto O'Rourke ejects Breitbart news reporter from an event at a historically black college and university. Breitbart article here. I don't know if you heard about this. This happened yesterday. Columbia, South Carolina, the former Representative Beto O'Rourke has styled himself as a champion of press freedom, tweeting last October, "The press is not the enemy of the people, but the best defense against tyranny." It is now August, and with his poll numbers falling in the Democratic presidential primary, O'Rourke has decided that he's entitled to abuse members of the press who cannot be relied upon to provide favorable coverage. O'Rourke's campaign ejected this Breitbart news reporter from a speech at Benedict College, a historically black college, on Tuesday afternoon. So that was Joel Pollack got ejected from a speech that O'Rourke was giving. Wow. Yeah, you're a champion of press freedom, but you know, Breitbart is just not as necessarily friendly to our friend Beto O'Rourke. So not good a thing. So I think that's why Breitbart is trending. Also, Facebook blacklisted the Epic Times. Now that's fascinating. They're not, well, because they're favorable to Trump more often than not. But so that's why Breitbart's trending. Donald Trump Jr. tweeted about it, so of course it's going to trend today. All right, moving on. Telltale Games is being revived. If you're a gamer, you know what that means. I'm not going to get into it. Cam Ward, who's this? From the Hurricanes. What's the deal? He has signed a one-day contract and will officially retire as a Carolina Hurricane. So congratulations, Cam Ward, on your retirement. Moving on. Cat 3, that's the Hurricane. Oh, is it a Cat 3 now? I don't think so. It's a Cat 2. Just in, 30 minutes ago, Tropical Storm Dorian forecast to become a hurricane later today. Winds have increased to 70 miles an hour. Rain amounts up to 10 inches expected in eastern Puerto Rico. Dorian could intensify to a Cat 3 as it approaches the Bahamas and Florida this weekend. So it'll remain a Cat 2 or tropical storm, whatever, and probably get past Puerto Rico, but then could be a Cat 3 by the time it reaches the mainland and the Bahamas. All right, so that's good to know. If you're in that area of the world, be careful. Chevy Chase is trending. I don't know if it's Chevy Chase the person or Chevy Chase the village. In Chevy Chase Village, where the average household income is $460,000, they built a dog park. The dogs came, the dogs barked. The neighbors called the police demanding quiet. When they didn't get it, they called back almost every day. Oh my goodness. And the Washington Post wrote an article about it. Jared Holt, who's a complete jackass, wrote, I can't believe the Washington Post wrote a whole piece supporting Bernie's tax plan. Oh my God, everything about the story. To stop outsiders from driving to Chevy Chase Village and parking on the Bork Street, taking the spots where the family liked their lawn maintenance service to park, the dog part was wiped from the village website. No excessive barking. Oh, so people are making fun of the town in Maryland, Chevy Chase, Maryland. Yeah, people. This is my favorite. Saw Chevy Chase trending and got scared. This is that. Every time someone trends, you're like, get that Denzel Washington meme or GIF. That's funny. So anyway, this is the best story ever written. I will never write anything as good as this. I wish I could read it. I don't think I have any more Washington Post articles, but just the fact that, oh my gosh, they built a dog park and no one expected the dogs to bark in the damn dog park. What the hell are you thinking? Good God. September. Oh, something on Twitch? Okay, whatever. I'm not on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, go sub to something. I don't know what that means. And I have a dream. Today, 56 years ago today, Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. And probably one of the more famous speeches in American history. 56 years ago today, I have a dream. He was more than a dreamer, he was a doer. What's your dream that's tied to building a more peaceful, just, humane world? What are you doing to realize that dream? So just we'll just do a quick excerpt from the I Have a Dream speech here.
It was about 20 to 4 when Dr. King got up. He was the last speaker, with his speech in his hand, and people as far as his eye could see. He began.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
It was hot, and I was very uncomfortable until Martin started speaking. And then the thing took on a new character.
And then just the whole crowd just hushed. The whole crowd just hushed. And just something came over. And everybody was just spellbound.
Dr. King was nervous, looking down repeatedly at what he had written. Some people thought at first that he was not his preacher self that day. He followed his prepared text closely.
It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check. A check which has come back marked insufficient funds.
When he speaks, everybody understands. It is the cadence of common tongue. The clarity of it was astounding.
We cannot not be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
We responded as if we already knew to some degree what he was going to say. So it wasn't as if he was bringing us good news that we hadn't heard. It was as if he was sharing with us a story, and we knew as much about it as he did.
Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends.
And then, as King was getting to the end of what he had written, sensing something in the crowd, he later said, he put the text aside.
Dr. King looked up and saw that crowd. He felt the energy. He was moved by this massive humanity in front of him. He looks away and forgets what has been written and starts to come from someplace else.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
And beyond that, probably the most famous ad lib in the history of history. Dr. King gave the famous "I have a dream" ending, and I'm gonna leave it at that, and maybe we can get into it tomorrow. Very powerful time. Dr. King was killed on my 4th birthday, which is not a good thing for a young black child, because there was me not understanding what was going on, but there was definitely a huge distraction that day as the news was breaking. But anyway, so that's all we're going to do today. Thank you all for being here. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for the people in other parts of the world who like to watch the show. And if you just before you go, if you haven't already done so, and especially if you're watching this after the show on the replay, hit the share button, share this out. And also, if you haven't already hit the like button, do that before you go. And every day we do super chats and donations through the Streamlabs link down below if that's something you're interested in supporting what I do here on the daily. So again, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, and everyone else can figure that out from there. Thank you so much again for all of you who come daily and participate in the chat. I try to keep up on it a little bit, and I'm trying to do a little bit better at that. But the fact that you all come here and see me every day, and hopefully it's entertaining for you. Hey, just one other programming note. I am probably going to be, I think I confirmed that with this morning. I'm going to be on the Morning Night Live. I'm on the Morning Night Live all the time. I'm going to be on Lords of the Night tonight on Ranting Monkey's channel. And so if you want to pop in there too, I know most of you already follow the Ranting Monkey, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then again, we'll be back tomorrow on Thursday. Tomorrow's FTG Thursday. If you have any FTG nominations, put those in my Twitter DMs, or you can email me at pdogknight@gmail.com. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Click that button right there. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.